Jimbo JTech here, back with the 9th video in my latest series of quick tips videos for you here on Sonic Academy. In this video, I want to explore the difference between a project that has very sort of VST sounding, very synthy sounding, like straight out of the synthesizer sounds that don't necessarily sound classy, and a sort of more finished sounding palette of instruments and sounds that have some tonal adjustments made to them to make them sound more convincing and more classy. It's one of the easiest ways that you can give your music a boost if you're an up-and-coming producer, and I think it's a lot of fun as well. So let's dive right in. Today we're going to look at reinventing the sounds in your current project to bring a level of classiness and a level of polish that they might not necessarily have otherwise had. So many of the people that I work with, up and coming producers who are trying to get their tracks to the next level, one of the problems that I see again and again is that everything sounds a little bit too straight out of the synth. There's this sort of VST instrument sound that a lot of things have, and really, for the final product, for the finished record, you don't want many things sounding like they've just come straight out of a synthesizer. They've been generated. You don't want to hear like the plugin in the song. You know what I mean? You want to be bringing a sense of tonal character to everything that you do. And so today we're going to look at actually just taking the sounds that you already have and remixing them into something a little bit classier. And I also recommend, when you do this, to actually save some of these sounds and use them, and start building a library of cool sounds that are customized to what you're doing as you go along. So today I've made a what I feel like sounds like, maybe an up-and-coming producer kind of sound. So I've tried to make everything sound as like straight out of the synth as possible, and everything's going to be a little bit cheesy and a little bit cheaply built is basically the aim of this project. Super exciting. And I've got another copy of the exact same four channels here. So these ones, we're going to basically remix these into something else. In doing so, I hopefully want to impart to you how important the characteristic of tone is. So we're going to start with this diva bass that I made. So thinking about this just by itself, if I were to remix this, I would want to make it bigger, better. I would want to upgrade it, make it a 2.0. So if you're using Ableton, some of the stock plugins are actually really good for tone. Overdrive is one. I'm going to use a reverb that'll give it a bit of a sense of space. Gonna make that dry signal up and the wet signal down. Now I have this cool THU Slate plugin. It's an amp plugin that comes with the Slate Digital bundle. I'm going to throw this in between the overdrive and the reverb, and let's try turning this sound into something completely different with a kind of rock and roll guitar rig type situation. Gonna go through some of these little presets here. That's kind of cool. I'm just playing with some of these knobs here. There's not much science to what I'm doing in this particular plugin. And something else that I feel like makes people's tracks feel a bit flat is that they aren't pumping things enough. So I'm going to sidechain this. I've got some quite strong settings here. And maybe I'm just going to use a quick channel EQ to just bring back some of that high frequency back in. Compared to... Let's hear it with this new bass. I'll just do a little bit of EQ, get rid of that muddiness out of there. Let's look at a drum loop now. So I might want to use a gate on this. It's making it a bit sharper and snappier. It's taking out all of the background space between all of the hits. All right. Now, I'll saturate this a little bit. Saturation is another great way of giving things a bit of tonal character. Just spices it up a little bit. I could even look at doing some reverb on here to give it a bit of a different characteristic. That's kind of fun. Something else that I like to do on drums sometimes is do a bit of a frequency shifter. You can actually change things around a little bit. Let's see what that sounds like. Use a preset here to start with. Maybe I'll take a little bit of that low end out. That's my new kind of spicier remixed version of this drum loop. Here's the original. Let's hear the whole thing together now. I'm going to do this ARP next because it is quite sort of straight out of the synth. I'm going to put a big sidechain on that. Instantly better. And so, you know, what I'm trying to do with the tone is always, I'm just trying to make it a bit more exciting, a bit spicier. If I really want to smash something, I'll try this multiband OTT plugin, the OTT preset on the multiband dynamics. This time parameter is one of the most important knobs with this preset. And maybe a bit of long reverb on that. I'll copy that sidechain from the bass, put it on the ARP. Last but not least, we have Phil's pad. This is made by Phil from Sonic Academy. Hi, Phil. And same thing, I can probably squeeze a little bit more spiciness out of this with some overdrive. A little flanger maybe. Maybe I can put a reverb on this as well and make it longer. And then compress that reverb. Here's the old one, and the new. So let's hear this finished, remixed bunch of sounds versus the original. Here's the original. And here's the beefed up version. Quite an improvement, I think. And, you know, this is something I will do to any track that I've been putting on the back burner for a while. If I haven't worked on a track in about a year and I'm coming back to the sounds, I'll try and upgrade them to the modern day, because, you know, where people fall short is that they have sounds that are more like this, and they spend all this time trying to just use, trying to EQ it correctly or compress it to try and make it sound big. And I think the better approach is to remix it on the fundamental level and just make it into something with a much bigger dimension than what it had before. Lastly, if you're happy with these new sounds that you've made, by all means, group them up. And I've actually already renamed this Phil's Pad JT. I even did my own little take on Phil's Pad and already saved it here. I can see. So if you're gonna like specially handcraft an instrument like this and you're gonna give it these cool characteristics, like why not save them and use them again and again in all your projects? Like further down the line, maybe you'll be like, oh, maybe this like beefed up, upgraded Phil's Pad that I made will be great to throw in here, and it'll just save you a bunch of time. In the next and final video, I'm going to show you a bunch of my techniques to become an Ableton ninja with your project management, making sure that everything plays back nicely and will be able to be opened for the rest of time. So stay tuned for that.